All right. Let's do this. um, let's see. You guys were last headed from Roan, and you had just dealt with the Dawn Machine. Should I fast track us to being back on the ship, or was there anything you'd want to do on land?
No.
No, I don't think so. Okay.
Yeah, I think
in that case, there'll just be a shot of plodding tiny feet, kind of webbed toes, and then Fisher's bulbous eyes kind of looking left and right as the tarnished black grass bleeds into green. Kind of welcome you guys back towards the shore. The smoke is still far ahead. The heat is still hot in the earth, and the water has refused to cool as you are led further and further down the rocky shores. And then eventually, looking forward between the mist, you see the familiar shape of the Anaphyli. And there is a moment where all of you are on the shore, and then kind of a ringing of a bell, and you see its hulking form start pushing towards you in the water. And Fisher just kind of sits square on the dock, waiting as he will. And then after a few minutes, a rope ladder is thrown over the side, and you guys are once again welcomed aboard your ship. And there will be the face of Robert Davies looking down at you, Rakote, as he pulls you up onto the dock, or sorry, onto the deck of the ship.
Yeah, I will. I'll be hoisted in, and then we leave. I think with everybody else still on the dock.
yeah. You get to act before they do. So
Rakote with panicked eyes starts screaming, "Shove off, you fools!"
And there will just kind of be a look of relief on his face as he kind of nods and says, "You're true to your word, Captain. Welcome back aboard."
He'll just kind of straighten his hat with an "aye" as he makes pace for his captain room.
Yeah, he will kind of follow a good distance behind you, kind of recounting things to you while saying, "There is more good news than bad, Captain. The prompt you procured has kept the Anaphyli above water. There's been no sight of the brigands you mentioned." And he will kind of open the door for you.
He'll say, Donald Trump, "But there is bad news, I presume."
Unfortunately, there is. Our helmsman, McSweeney, he's blind, sir.
Ooh.
We will need to find another to steer the Anaphyli until we make landfall in the Port of the Nameless.
Look no further. The Submariner overheals your troubles.
We sail then to Submarina, where we
Kane,
will
I'll pay
find
you.
the greatest
I'll pay
sailor.
you $50, Kane. Just bring him in.
I'll suck your dick.
I figured today that a character is worth more than $50. No, I will not allow him. I would have to. I think my price would be $100. If you give me $100, I will let him be here.
You Venmo Kane $100.
The moment the $100 is in my account, I will fucking allow it.
I gotta call my bank. They won't let me shift more than $10 at a time because of my insanity.
Yeah, they're like, what is it for this time? As your accountant, I really have to advise against this.
It's for work. It's an audio play. You've said that so many times.
Yeah,
go ahead. You're on board.
The Pale Lady will appear behind you with Fisher kind of underarm. And she'll say, I do not understand. Can he not just follow my voice as he did before?
He will kind of be shocked and turn around and say, "Well, ma'am, it's better to have a sighted, what would it be? A sighted helmsman than one that is not. We cannot always rely on your voice."
Very well.
No offense to the Maiden of the Deep, but we can't be following the sirens rung for too long.
That speaks the truth. It would make the men weary.
Rakote will add, it's a novel concept, however. Approaching shore is different than sailing open waters. We need a helmsman that'll be able to spot any dangers on the horizon as they approach the Anaphalie. Beyond that, losing his sight is one of my own. He will be retired with honors and compensated for this affliction he suffered at my responsibility.
Crew will be happy to hear it, sir. And if you would like, I could put out a request. See who might be fitting to the position.
Why don't we ask First Mate Frankie?
Oh, Captain, well, I'd be happy to do that. In fact, I've got my resume right here. I'd be more than happy to serve as the helmsman on this ship. I served the Anthony for a long.
Anyway,
Dave and Busters, what did you do there?
that tells me that audio is too comprehensible.
It really was.
Maybe it was actually. I could
Yeah,
understand
that was.
it,
I have the
mastered
mix up to
every
like
word.
100.
But no, he's moving forward in life. Right? He went to speech therapy, and he's on the up and up.
No.
What did they do? Fix
What
him?
did
What they do to my boy?
They massacred my boy.
Look at how they massacred my boy.
The audiences didn't and Tess, they didn't like how Frankie was not understandable in the first season, so they changed it, and it sucks.
Frankie's been recast. We all have to act like it's the same guy.
What a jip.
What a crime.
I feel like I might be able to roll contacts for who is the second most qualified. I have to imagine that there is a plan in place. In the event that the helmsman, suffers a cannonball the size of a fist in combat. So what would contacts look like to? Jesus Christ!
we just like to keep him busy.
Everyone talking around him is always telling him, forward, starboard. It's like,
Keep doing what you're doing. Big left. Yep, that was enough.
Just like a little kid pretending to drive the car with his little.
He's in the fucking dock. The ships are harsh. The sea is harsh today, Captain.
Jesus. Yes. What would a contacts challenge look like to get me a good second helmsman?
Yeah, I'll set the challenge at a 2. It's your own ship, though some people have come and gone. If you match it, there'll be a 0 bonus currently on your drive. If you succeed, you'll get the +1 you usually work with.
Let's see.
Okay, so currently a 0. So you'll find a replacement. It won't be worse.
I will tap the fact that I'm the captain of said Anaphalie. Use my last.
Perfect. In that
Sorry,
case,
turning at 0 muted me. But yeah, we'll get that +1 back.
great. In that case, you know that there was a promising barrelman by the name of, Norman, who has always had a pretty sharp eye and known the waters over the last 15 years that he's been working on shore, on this boat.
What was his name again?
Norman.
Norman. Rakote will turn to Davies, and he'll say, "Summon me from the storeroom, young Norman. He's keen, and he's been ready for some time."
Davies will kind of cock his eye for a moment, but then return it and say, "Of course, Captain. You usually have an eye for these things." And he will nod and excuse himself.
Unlike that other helmsman, right?
This one can find the wheel, right?
Too soon.
What?
on.
What? What?
on.
Says Davies. Davies is like, come on.
You haven't even processed the
Making fun of the
paperwork
man
yet.
that you blinded.
He's not deaf, Davies. Fuck.
Jesus, he's
Jesus.
right here.
And he will go and fetch Norman. kind of leaving your group to its own business. Is there anything that you guys would do yet, or should I, again, push this forward and have Francis Hatter make an appearance?
Francis Hatter's here.
Yeah, he is.
I'm
my
good for the
God.
moment, unless anybody else has anything to attend to.
Yeah. That'd
You
be good.
go.
I will go. Mine's more important. Crow is doing the lion's share
Kissing off
work.
the edge.
Doing a lot of work getting the thing like undocked and try to move away.
Yeah, perfect.
Doing a bunch of the stuff that a helmsman does.
Yeah, casting off the ropes, making sure that you're ready to go and that you're seafaring. It's quick work for you, Crow. You've done this before. But there will be kind of a group of men watching you get to work, and then thinking that you're operating on the captain's orders will fall in line and begin assisting. So with that in the backdrop, is there anything, Rostavon, what would you be up to?
I'm just looking at the lighthouse.
Yeah, though it is a bit less intense, it glows with more of a yellow tinge to it. It gives the land almost a jaundiced appearance as the light passes over you. But it is warm upon your skin. And every few seconds you feel it again. Yeah. The what was it? I think a 200-foot flame that erupted from this has abated somewhat, though you still see a flame no less than 100 feet still licking towards the sky. And kind of, again, tracking the shot, we will see Hatter push open the door to the captain's corner, and then immediately shut it again and then knock. Waiting for your word, Rakota.
Don't come in!
No!
Then we reveal that's actually just his tick. He just has to open it like 3 times. And do
Yeah, Rakote just patiently waiting. For him to do
sitting
it.
there twiddling his thumbs, waiting for him to get through the whole thing.
He has to knock on it 3 times, like 5
Taking
times in a
extra
row.
long today, I see.
Good door, Captain.
Sure is.
Yes, he'll look up. And does this guy have a title?
Yes, it was Chief Engineer, I believe. Yeah, Chief Engineer.
So he'll say, Chief Engineer Hatter.
Captain, good to see you. Sorry for not knocking.
He'll say, I think knowing that this is how he always is with his overextensive apologies, instead of doing that, hey, you shouldn't apologize so much.
Yeah.
He will just say, it's forgiven.
You go on land for a month and then you forget your sea legs.
He says, yes, we've all been away from the sea for entirely too long.
He will give you kind of a just wide-eyed stare, and a gulp, and then he will just kind of nod. And then he will say, Sir, the water around the Anaphalie, it's going to take some time to cool. I suggest we leave as soon as possible. Could help us avoid damaging the keel.
Aye. We will be leaving immediately.
For Whitecliff, sir?
Yes, for Whitecliff.
I heard that no one was going to Whitecliff. You will see him kind of cross his hands at this and like tap his foot.
He'll say,
Here. Scared
What?
loser?
no. He'll say, yes, it would seem there's something of a barricade. However, the Anaphalie remains undaunted. We've business in Whitecliff, and we will do our business in Whitecliff.
Sir, what business would be worth another run-in with Tyburn? Really?
Oh man, did I know that it was Tyburn?
No. No, I don't think so. I don't think you ever asked.
He will look up quite wide-eyed at that, and remembering that he is a captain and he can't just go, what?
Oh, fuck, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah,
What did
He
you just
just
say?
jumps like a salmon out the little porthole window. He looks up from his desk, and he'll say, "Tyburn is there."
Last I've heard, yes, sir, they've been there for a month.
In what capacity?
Uh, everyone, sir, the blockade, it's theirs. No one really knows what they're doing there, but they haven't let anyone through. No one except some provisional lines. I don't think they believed they'd be there so long.
He'll sort of pinch the bridge of his nose. And he'll say, "What else have you heard of Tyburn in Whitecliff? Tell me everything."
This will be a good contacts roll. He'll give you a +1. It'll be
Okay.
kind of like a representation of you guys putting your heads together. Unfortunately, it's a pretty high challenge. It's a 4.
Sure.
No! Oh.
Okay. Nice. Pretty fucking good. He will kind of sit down without any invitation and kind of think for a moment, and he'll
Don't sit.
say, "Don't sit."
Didn't ask you to hang out. I asked you what you meant.
He'll just kind of like pass some air between the side of his mouth and just say, "A woman? A person. I heard they were looking for someone. They haven't found them yet."
Not a fish person, is she?
And we can keep going. Like, there'll be more information, but is there anything you wanted to say?
I'm just digesting for now. He said they're looking for a woman.
Yeah, he'll just say, last I heard, yes. That was mostly just hearsay and rumors. What I do know is that they're not letting anyone through, not through the major ports. They've got one of their battalion ships stationed out front. Enough cannons to shoot down the Anaphilia a few times over. If you don't mind me saying, sir.
Of course. Always speak the truth. Total amnesty in this room.
Well, sir, White Cliff sounds like a bad idea. Frankly. Sorry. Maybe you know something I don't. And in terms of what you know, for a 6, it does seem like they are there specifically for an individual person. The blockade is real, and that with a context of 6, you know that you would need some type of official documentation to pass by them. Unscathed, that or you need a pretty convincing lie. And in either case, it'd be a tall ask if you go straight on towards Tyburn.
Okay. Fuck. All right. Can I see the world map real quick?
Of course.
Do we have... We have 2 fish or 3 fish?
You have 2 currently.
We have 2.
Yep.
Okay.
We've been fishing down at F yet?
No, he has
But
not.
I have an idea. He will he's gonna look up to Hatter, and he'll say, "Your expertise and opinion are as appreciated as always. If you would, I need a moment to think. Summon for me First Mate Davies. Have him and the lot that I arrived off the Isle of Rats with attend me in my office post haste. It is of utmost importance."
Of course, sir. I'll be quick. And then he will immediately turn to you, not being quick, and just say plainly, "Sir, if you intend to go to Whitecliff, I'd ask that you take me with you.
He'll look up kind of surprised at that, and he'll say, you would follow, even knowing how dangerous it is.
You're my captain.
He'll nod very, very stoically at that. He'll say, and you are a very good sailor.
He will smile, nod, and then go out and complete the task you asked of him. Kind of in quick turn, going through the party members, a few of the crewmates, and eventually, let's get us back on the Anaphyli. Gathering all of you. And let's say this right here. This room here could be kind of the conference room where you hold your own court.
Sure.
When Hatter comes outside,
yeah,
they are alarmed to find that that the island is already reduced to much smaller on the horizon as Crow is steering us toward White. I don't know how I already forgot the name. I heard it like 7 times just now.
White Castle.
Yeah, White Castle. As Crow, standing really unassuming, just staring forward silently, is steering them toward. I mean, it's got to be days off, but is starting
for sure.
the route.
Yeah. Hatter will kind of look up, see you and your haunting visage, and immediately look away, not sure how to cope with you or deal with you.
Yeah, the shot lasts as long as it takes me to look back down and make eye contact before he looks away.
But no one seems to challenge your position currently. And in fact, you are just kind of left at the helm for the time being. Do you eventually answer the call of your summons, or no?
Yeah, if he eventually gets around to it. It seemed like he neglected it the first time.
Yeah, no, there will be a quick scene if people want to. Hatter will come to you, Pale Lady, and say, the captain wants a word. Plans for Whitecliff.
Very well.
Do you know where the others are? Besides the scary one?
The dog is with me.
Great. And he will just walk away and go into the belly of the ship. Rastavan, where are you?
Probably just on deck.
Okay. In that case, he will then pivot, and find you and say, Sir, the captain requests an audience.
Rastavan is seen raising and lowering his hand, and the flame of the lighthouse seems to almost obey that slightly. He's going to look over. Oh, all right.
He will watch you leave, and then he will try to do exactly what you did. There'll just going to be a moment where he's like,
it works.
Yeah. Oh my god, it works.
No.
Response to him stronger.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Rastavan gets nervous.
I like the idea that it's like it was just noticeable enough if you saw you doing it. There's like this weird occurrence, and he's a fairly perceptive man. So watching you, he almost is going to bring it up, but he lets you pass. And there's just a moment where he considers and he goes and tries it, and there's absolutely nothing. So he just plays it off like he was bringing his hands up to his head and just walks away.
Right.
He tries to do a Kamehameha in private.
Yeah.
Just to see if it works. If he really believes that it works, it's got to, right?
All right, I'll go there.
Perfect. In that case, you will enter, and Davies will just kind of be finished talking to you, Rakote, where he will say, "Your sailor's at the helm."
He'll say, Norman.
No, the one with the blue eyes.
Ah. Crow, then.
Do you find that appropriate, sir?
He says, well, I'd prefer if he had the expertise for steering the ship, he'd have volunteered, but then again, that's Crow. He's a man of action.
We're satisfied with that.
He says, Obviously, in any other context, there would be something of a conversation for acting against orders. Crow, I have come to understand, will act in the best interest of the mission, though he does things on his own way. I will talk to him as I've understood works in the past.
Davies will bite his tongue off as he continues to
So-
just nod.
So pissed.
But to that end, Crow and the Pale Lady, you can both also enter
I'm here.
to a fairly, I would say you kept a pretty tight ship, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rakote?
Oh yeah.
There's kind of like a large oak table. Maybe it was the one thing that they couldn't take because it was such a pain in the ass. They almost had to build it in here for your specifications.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
one of those. It's sort of installed into the room.
yeah, and the sheer weight and mass of it is kind of impressive. It gives you a hint of what the Anophilie was before it was taken for scrap. And at the head of it is you, Rakote.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Crow at this point.
Oh no, he showed up.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yep.
My bad. I didn't. He blended right in for me.
Yeah.
So he will look up, and he'll say,
Thank you all for joining me.
Rostvan walks in, pulls a chair out, crosses his legs and puts his big old fucking giant combat boots on the table.
Quite muddy. Very muddy. Let me see the world map again, if I could.
actually, do you want to post that in Discord?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
And we can. Then I don't have to keep going back and forth.
But yeah.
But okay, so he will say, let me just get right back in here. It was where is Coltair?
Coltan is
Coltair.
God, I've made so many fucking land masses. I think is Coltan even in here? I think that was a distant land
Oh, is
mass.
that's way off?
Yeah, I don't think that's even on this map.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought there was somewhere on this map that the Pale Lady wanted to go to. No, it's right here. It's right here.
Is it? Oh, fuck me. It's literally
There it
the
is.
like one it's the blight area. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
It's got
Yeah, the sick place I wanted to go.
You have to
Yeah.
fist fight the guy, and then there's a snake. I
Yep.
can read this. So Rakote will look up and say, I have been informed that the bastion that awaits us at White Cliff is far more troublesome than it initially appeared. And he'll say, as a captain, I intend to deliver on the promises that I've made to you who helped me escape from the Isle of Rats with my life intact. Which is why to you, Crow, Crow's got a person he has to kill in White Cliff, right? Or was this just for Jessica Lauren?
Yeah, that was just Jessica Lauren. That was your personal quest to
Oh,
figure out
okay.
who betrayed you.
Okay.
I have whatever Orson Ballard being in the middle of this channel means.
Yep.
All right. Well, maybe I need to rethink this because I thought there was a target there.
Make this easier for you. So there is one off the Silk Road, and I think just to make the planning easier, let's go ahead and bring us to White Cliff. Something that I want to sell is that this entire green landmass is the area of White Cliff, kind of covered in mountains, prodigious for its salt. It's kind of been mined through and through. And to the direct east of it is 1,000 of little islets that consist of the Silk Road, kind of like narrow passageways that abut the eastern part of White Cliff.
All right.
And the main port, the one that I'll give you for free, is Gildan.
Okay.
The other
That's-
ones you'd have to roll to like know about.
That's occupied by a Hulk.
Yeah, that anything with the fist is a garrison employed by Tyburn.
By Tyburn.
Yep.
Shit, because they are probably looking for the same target that we are, and that's probably when they'll leave. All right, so he'll say, scratch whatever the fuck I was going to say, because I was going to propose an alternate route to the Parliament of Pleasure, to neglect following up on this task for now, so that we get more information about what they were looking for and why they wanted to leave. But I feel as though we could intuit what that is. They're not going to leave until they have Jessica. All right. So he will say, as a captain, it is my responsibility to ensure the safety of all of those aboard the ship. It has been brought to my attention that this woman that you are looking for, this Jessica Laurent, is realistically being pursued by none other than the Tyburn Company, the very same who sent me to the Isle of Rats in the first place and reduced the Anophalie to the wreck that you beheld when we set foot back in the city that Dave forgot the name of.
Port of the Nameless.
The Port of the Nameless. And he's going to say, I see two options before us. The first is that we neglect the obligation to the... What was the gang again on the Port of the Nameless?
Oh, it was the... what was it? The Bruisers. I'll find
Rude
out. I
Boys.
forget. Yeah, I do have the name. I'll think of it in a second.
The Road Warriors.
Pummel
Yeah.
snakes.
The Diamond Rattlers. He'll say...
Backwater Bruisers, I think it was. Yeah.
He'll say, my first proposal is that we neglect the fulfilling the obligation to the Backwater Bruisers. I can assure you that whatever they're paying, it is not going to be worth the danger of inserting ourselves with the wrath of Tyburn. We can cut up north, catch the remaining fish that we need to chart our course to the Parliament of Pleasure, and go there to fulfill Crow's mission to annihilate Joseph Bizet and return him to the sea. If the two of you, and he's going to look at you, Crow, and you, Rastavan, feel as though this mission is paramount to you and your endeavors in these seas, then we will need to take extra precautions to find ourselves in White Cliff.
I had no clue that this was my quest.
No,
Who the
it's
who
not.
the fuck is Jessica Laurent?
No, that's... Okay, it's been a while. I need to
Did I get all this
clarify.
wrong? I thought they were looking for Jessica
So,
Laurent.
no, let me clarify. Orson Ballard is somebody on the Silk Road that Crow is looking for. White Cliff and Jessica Laurent is the person that you would trade to Wordsmith to find out who betrayed you. It's more your quest.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, he
How
said
did I
your
get that
personal
mixed up?
quest directly
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely no worries. It's been a while.
No, I feel I'm on medicine that fucks with my head. I feel like I can't remember yesterday, so my bad. This was about 15 minutes of sunk time.
No worries. Yeah, White Cliff is your thing. Jessica Laurent, if you bring her back to the Port of the Nameless, you'll know who betrayed you.
Okay. Well, fuck. All right. Well, this was a little unnecessary then to pull everybody in here for this. I thought that this was
Announce your plan. It's fine. We can parlay this into something.
yeah. Well, let's do something different here then, because I got very confused here. Shit. I'm sorry, guys.
No worries.
You'd mentioned that we might need to get some official documents. Would there be a contacts role to determine where we might be able to get official enough documents, or is that something where we're going to ride in and they're going to know right away that it's us?
So they would know you possibly. That is one concern, is you in particular. But in order to get fake documents, I would say it'd be a contact roll of 4.
Let's see.
It's his birthday. Go easy on him.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, these are the same people that basically tore your life asunder.
All right. Shit. All right. Barring a compel not to do this, I am going to propose that as I'm just going to pull a captain executive decision here, and we're going to change course.
I'm going to compel you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you a fate point for flying into what might be danger, based on the once promising marine merchant.
Sure.
This is a way to clear your name.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to change the flavor of this then. He's going to say, I want to be forthright with all of you. The barricade at White Cliff is not some official gold shirt business that will be something of a headache. Instead, it is the Tyburn Company itself, the very same that tore the Anaphalia asunder and left her in the state that you found when we arrived in the Port of the Nameless. This mission to find and extract Jessica Laurent is paramount for me to understand not only how this happened, but who to look out for to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But we cannot be sloppy with this one. Very direct, and, if necessary, immediately lethal. And this is where he will look to you, Crow, and also to you, Rastavan. And he'll say, stirring up the Tyburn Company's ire will be almost impossible if there is a conflict, but should it come to that, absolutely no survivors. Do you understand?
I.
He'll say, we will be hasty. Ears to the ground as soon as we set port. We need to find this woman and abscond with her, and return to the Port of the Nameless so that we may chart our course to the Parliament of Pleasure.
What do you need her for?
He'll stand from where he'd been sitting, and he'll say, the Tyburn Company is massive, and it holds the entirety of the seas in its greedy palms. They are much too large to bother with a lowly local merchant such as I. Somebody put those coffins into the Anaphales hull, and I want to find out who did it, and I want them to pay everything this slight was worth. Jessica Laurent is the key to finding such information.
Oh. Makes sense to me.
He'll say, I know that this is a tall order to ask after what all of you did already on the Isle of Rats. Understand, I will continue to be indebted to you, farther out past the Siren Seas, for helping me bring justice to my Anaphali.
Crow recognizes what pleasantries like these mean and immediately gets up and goes back to steering.
Wait, who's been steering the ship?
Oh, my kid,
He
do it.
he'll actually call after you, Crow. You can totally keep walking if you want to, but he's going to attempt to stop you just by calling your name.
He'll hesitate in the doorway, but you hear the Inferno sound effects playing.
Yeah. He'll say, "You did a fine job getting us to sea. Young Norman is wet behind the ears. Perhaps you could share some of your expertise with him. Something of a second in command."
He is going to give you an inscrutable stare and then walk outside, and upon Norman looking his way at all, will
Norman's
cast him
currently driving. Go ahead.
yeah, as he gets back up to the wheel, we'll give Norman a look, like when Black Noir sat down to play at that piano and just stared at the guy until he left.
I I'm gonna try to have Norman fight for his rank. He has a will of 1.
Oh boy. Norman, don't do it.
Oh, all right. His fingers will creak as he just slowly lifts them away from the wheel and shifts ever so slightly, giving you space.
Is he still staying up on this deck?
Oh yeah, yeah. He kind of removes himself to maybe 2 feet behind you.
Crow begins to steer, looks over his shoulder, and says,
Be gone.
I need to be here for when the captain realizes he's made a mistake.
Thou doth not need to be anywhere but the bottom of the sea as far as the fish are concerned.
He will kind of narrow his eyes and say plainly, "Has Davies heard you talk like that? Is the captain?"
Dost thou wish to bring them? To hear it?
He will laugh a bit and shake his head. He'll say, "No, I like to solve my own problems."
Crow's getting involved. He's going to step away from the wheel and towards this guy. He's got that hunger in his eyes. He's going to say,
Then solve it.
In my own time. And he will bring the back of his hand against your chest once and then begin to try and walk away.
I'm gonna miss this guy.
But he will leave if you allow him.
Yeah, Crow's going to watch him go.
Yeah, okay, perfect. He will, of course, spare a glance, a disparaging one, as he lets himself down to the lower depths of the ship. But he locks his eyes on you for just a moment before doing so. And then you are alone at the wheel.
Crow is fully engaged in the eye contact with that hyena look in his eyes before the man goes to a lower deck and he returns himself to steering.
Perfect. In that case, currently, in the hall is the Pale Lady, Rostavan, Rakote, and Davies. Is there anything else you would address to them, Rakote?
Yes. He's going to look to you, Pale Lady. And he is going to say, we will need to find the least occupied port in the island. I need you to do reconnaissance for me.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'll say, the ship cannot so easily pass through right now, but you move very well in the water.
Yes. What is it you wish me to look for?
Let's see. Can we see Whitecliff again? And
So the port here at Avery
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem to be occupied.
Nope. That's stuff that the Pale Lady could find out.
Okay.
Basically, like there's a little bit of metagame knowledge just because of the map. I'm not going to update it when you find
Yeah,
a fucking
sure.
location, but there are alternative landing spots for sure.
Okay. Well, he'll outline then. He wants to be. He'll say close enough to the villages so that we might find somebody to so that we might get accounts of where Jessica may reside, but far enough away from anybody donning the Tyburn uniform. Or he'll describe Tyburn ships, or if their men are clad in uniform, he'll communicate that.
Yeah, Pale Lady, you know the telltale compass rose to be a mark of the Tyburn Company.
All right. She will. She'll nod lethargically, and she'll say, "When we are closer to the port, leave your ship."
We will wait for your signal.
Very well.
Or he'll say, we will wait for your return.
She'll just nod.
Perfect. Then I guess to kind of move this, are you going to wait until you get closer to the shore, or are you trying to cut off on your own right now?
She would wait until we get a little closer. So,
Okay.
I mean, she could
Day
swim
out
that,
or
but I
two.
feel like it would be kind of unnecessary.
Okay. Perfect. Davies will kind of have been listening in this whole time. Will turn to you, Rakote, and say, Whitecliff is a very dangerous place, Captain. Have you been?
Is that something I have to establish with a roll, or?
Yeah, I would just say like a contacts challenge of 1.
Okay.
To have a passing understanding. Yeah, you could have had some personal dealings here.
Yeah. What do they lack in terms of their supplies here? I'm lost for the word.
Yeah, no worries.
Pepper.
So this place, yeah, definitely heavy in salt, not so much in pepper. It is a salt mine. It is very dangerous and laborious work that leaves many people dead, though technology has slowly moved in and made it a bit easier. The real kind of sticking point of Whitecliff, though, is this wall here. There was an invasive spider species brought to this isle about 100 years back, which has basically left this whole eastern part of it infested, which has even bled over into the Silk Road as more and more spiders kind of spin their web across this entire kind of plain. But even during all this and dealing with that spider species, there are mines that have been dug and resources to be held within them. So places like Roswin and Livingston are not nearly as comfortable, more like frontier towns is what I'd put them towards.
Okay.
And you know that Avery is basically lost to these spiders. It is a dead town, a ghost town.
Okay.
No one has lived in for a very long time. But for all intents and purposes, everything on this western landmass is pretty easy. That's basically just been because of the military force that's been focused there.
Okay. Yeah, he'll say then. Yes, I've been. They are the primary export of salt across the seas, but they've not much else, and they're in dire need of ammunition to combat the
Infestation.
The spider yes.
He will just kind of nod and say, it's gotten worse over the last few years. They keep pushing further west. If we are to make landfall in the eastern landmass, I'd expect that we might run into that trouble.
After what I have seen on the Isle of Rats, there is no spider that could compel me to remain on my ship.
He will just kind of laugh a bit to himself and say, they are quite big.
He says, and one day I will regale you with the story of Laos the Rat King and the size of their incisors.
He will be a bit surprised, but just nod and say, "I look forward to it, sir."
He will stop if you're leaving in dismissal, and he'll say, "Davies, should something happen on Whitecliff, should I find myself in Tyburn's company, I want you to take Anna Felee and I want you to drive her as far away from this place as you can. She will be your ship at that point. I don't imagine they will leave me alive twice."
He will get very solemn and see kind of like the corner of his mouth pull tight, and he will say plainly, "Sir, they tried to take her once. I will not allow there to be a second. The crew will be taken care of, and I will do what I can for you. This I promise."
He'll nod, and then he'll sort of look back down at his paperwork, which is his I'm scared of goodbyes.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go back to this.
He will just kind of curtly turn and allow himself out. And with that, we can begin moving the ship eastward, if that is what you wish.